What if the answer to your most persistent health struggles has been hiding inside your body all along, waiting for you to simply listen? Right now, at this very moment, there's an intelligence operating within every single cell of your being, an ancient physician that knows exactly how to heal you, restore you, and transform you from the inside out. But here's what most people never realize. Modern life has been systematically drowning out this cellular wisdom, burying it beneath layers of constant consumption, endless stimulation, and the relentless noise of our daily existence. Carl Jung, one of the most revolutionary minds in psychology, spent decades uncovering a truth that challenges everything we've been taught about healing and the human body. He discovered that your cells aren't just mindless biological machinery following genetic programming. They possess something far more profound. A secret intelligence that operates beneath your conscious awareness, constantly working to maintain, repair, and regenerate every system in your body. This isn't some mystical concept or New Age philosophy. This is about the actual measurable healing power encoded into your cellular structure, a power that most people go their entire lives never fully accessing. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Think about this for a moment. Every single day, your body is performing millions of intricate operations without you having to think about them. Your cells are communicating with each other in languages we're only beginning to understand, repairing damage, fighting off threats, balancing hormonal systems, regenerating tissues. It's an orchestra of complexity happening at microscopic levels, while you go about your daily routine completely unaware. But what Jung realized, and what modern medicine often overlooks, is that this cellular intelligence isn't just maintaining your physical structure. It holds the key to psychological healing, emotional transformation, and a level of vitality that most of us have forgotten is even possible. Has this ever happened to you? You wake up one morning feeling inexplicably different, clearer somehow, as if something fundamental has shifted inside. You overnight. That's not random. That's your cellular intelligence breaking through the static, trying to communicate something essential about what your body actually needs. Jung documented what happens when we finally create the right conditions for this inner physician to do its work uninterrupted. When you give your digestive system deliberate rest, when you pause the constant cycle of consumption that defines modern existence, something extraordinary unfolds at the cellular level. The energy your body normally dedicates to breaking down food, processing nutrients, managing endless input, that massive reservoir of life force suddenly gets redirected. And where does it go? Straight into deep cellular repair work, clearing out accumulated debris, resetting systems that have been running on autopilot for years, and most fascinating of all, accessing hidden layers of consciousness that remain locked away during our normal waking state. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover about your own cells might completely transform how you understand healing itself and the untapped potential that's been waiting inside you all along. Now, I want to go even deeper into this revelation because what Jung uncovered here transforms everything we think we know about why we suffer, why certain patterns seem to control our lives no matter how hard we try to change them, and why healing sometimes feels so impossibly out of reach. Here's the hidden truth that most people never realize. Your cells aren't just carrying physical toxins from poor diet or environmental exposure. They're actually storing your entire psychological history, every single chapter of it, written into your cellular memory, like an invisible biography that you carry with you everywhere you go. Every emotion you've pushed down because it felt too overwhelming to process. Every moment of grief you didn't allow yourself to fully feel because you had to keep it together, stay strong, be functional. Every burst of rage you swallowed because it wasn't the right time or the acceptable place to express what you were really feeling. All of that doesn't just disappear into thin air. It settles into your body, encoding itself into your cellular structure, creating what Jung called the shadow, those hidden aspects of yourself that silently govern your decisions, your reactions, your entire way of being in the world without you even realizing it. That chronic tension you carry in your shoulders that no amount of massage seems to permanently release. That persistent digestive issue that doctors can't quite explain with conventional tests. The unexplained fatigue that makes you feel like you're dragging yourself through life, even when you're getting enough sleep. These aren't always purely physical problems with purely physical solutions. They're your body's way of speaking, of trying to get your attention when your mind has been refusing to listen to what desperately needs to be processed and released. If this type of deeper content resonates with you, go ahead and subscribe. You'll be joining people who think critically about health, psychology, and genuine transformation, not just chasing the next quick fix. Jung discovered something even more remarkable about this journey of cellular awakening, something that completely reframes how we understand willpower and self-control. He found that willpower isn't some abstract mental quality you either have or don't have, some genetic lottery that blessed certain people with iron discipline while leaving others perpetually struggling. It's actually a living force that operates at the cellular level, a tangible capacity that can be strengthened or weakened based on how you engage with your own cellular intelligence. Modern lifestyle has systematically weakened our capacity for self-regulation in ways we rarely acknowledge. We've become so conditioned to reach for something the moment any discomfort appears: food when we're anxious, our phones when we're bored, substances when we're stressed, anything to fill the void, anything to avoid sitting with ourselves and feeling what's actually happening beneath the surface. But when you consciously choose to feel hunger, without immediately satisfying it, when you stay present with that sensation, instead of running from it, something profound shifts in your entire nervous system. You're training your cellular systems to handle discomfort without collapsing into reactivity, building the actual physiological capacity to make conscious decisions rather than being driven by every impulse that surfaces. Write in the comments, "I'm ready to listen to my cells." This is where Jung's work becomes absolutely critical, and it's a distinction that separates genuine healing from mere suffering. He witnessed something during periods of economic hardship that forever changed how he understood the relationship between consciousness and cellular function. When people were forced to go without food due to poverty or crisis, when hunger was imposed upon them by circumstances completely beyond their control, their bodies responded with deterioration. They weakened, their spirits broke, and the experience left deep psychological scars that lasted long after the deprivation ended. But here's the revelation that transforms everything we think we understand about healing and the power of choice. When that exact same physical experience, the absence of food, is chosen, deliberately, consciously, with clear intention and full awareness of what you're doing and why you're doing it, the cellular response is completely different. Your cells don't interpret it as deprivation anymore. They receive it as a signal, a conscious command from your deeper intelligence to activate dormant restorative processes that have been waiting patiently for permission to begin their work. Jung called this willing surrender, and it's one of the most powerful concepts he ever articulated. It's a psychological stance where you're not fighting against the discomfort, not viewing hunger as an enemy to grit your teeth through and endure. You're consciously redirecting that sensation towards cellular transformation, working with your body's intelligence rather than battling against it. Two people can abstain from food for the exact same duration. following identical protocols down to the minute, and one will emerge with profound cellular renewal, psychological clarity, and a sense of vitality they haven't felt in years, while the other simply feels depleted, weakened, diminished. The difference isn't in the food they didn't eat or the hours they counted. The difference lies entirely in consciousness, in the quality of attention they brought to the experience. Your mind and cells are in constant communication, sending signals back and forth in a dialogue you're rarely aware of, and the intentions you consciously set shape the biological response you receive at the deepest cellular level. This isn't metaphorical language or spiritual symbolism, this is actual physiological reality. Jung was emphatic about this truth, perhaps more than anything else he taught about cellular intelligence. If you engage in this practice without psychological awareness, without actively engaging your cellular wisdom, without paying attention to what's actually happening beneath the surface of your experience, you're simply starving yourself. There's no therapeutic value in mechanical deprivation, in just going through the motions while your mind is completely somewhere else, distracted, disengaged, treating it like another item to check off your self-improvement list. The real healing, the genuine transformation that Jung documented in countless individuals over decades of careful observation, emerges when this becomes an active practice. When you're simultaneously giving your digestive system rest and exploring what's unfolding at the cellular level, when you're listening carefully to the signals your body sends, when you're present with the experience rather than merely enduring it like some kind of punishment you've assigned yourself. Put in the comments, "I choose conscious transformation." What Jung understood and what makes his approach so revolutionary is that this journey isn't about punishing your body or proving how tough you can be. He saw this as cellular training, a practice that simultaneously transforms both the physical and psychological dimensions of who you are. He used to say something profound that cuts right to the heart of this entire process. What is mastered in the body may be mastered in the psyche. Think about what that really means for your daily life, for the patterns you've been trying to change, for the behaviors that seem to have a grip on you, no matter how many times you've promised yourself things would be different. Every single time you feel hunger rising and you consciously choose to stay with that sensation instead of immediately reaching for food, you're not just exercising willpower in some abstract sense. You're literally strengthening a fundamental capacity within your cellular structure. You're training your cells to handle discomfort without collapsing into reactivity, without spiraling into panic or compulsion. This isn't about developing some cold, stoic indifference to your own needs or becoming someone who suppresses everything they feel. It's about cultivating the cellular power to make conscious decisions rather than being driven by every impulse that surfaces in your nervous system. As you develop this inner strength through intentional practice, something remarkable happens simultaneously at the cellular level. Those healing systems that have been suppressed and overwhelmed by constant consumption, by the endless cycle of eating and digesting that defines modern existence, suddenly have the space and resources they need to function optimally. The discipline you're building becomes the very doorway through which cellular healing flows naturally, effortlessly, the way it was always designed to work before we buried it under layers of excess and avoidance. If this shifted your perspective or gave you new insight, hit that like button. It helps this content reach others who are searching for exactly this kind of understanding. But here's where Jung's insight reaches its deepest level, and it's something that changes everything once you truly grasp it. You cannot separate your cells from your consciousness. They're not two different systems operating independently in parallel universes inside your body. They're woven together in a single unified organism, constantly influencing each other in ways most people never consider. Your unresolved emotions don't just live in your mind as abstract thoughts or painful memories floating around in some mental space. They directly affect your cellular function in measurable, tangible ways. That physical tension you carry in your neck and shoulders isn't just muscular stress from poor posture or too many hours at a desk. It's storing psychological pain in your cellular memory. Those chronic health issues that won't respond to conventional treatment, the ones that leave doctors puzzled and you frustrated, often have roots in experiences your cells have never fully processed. Traumas and suppressions that got locked into your physical body because there was nowhere else for them to go. No other outlet for release. When you engage this practice with genuine psychological awareness, when you're paying attention to what's actually happening inside you rather than just mechanically counting hours or following rigid rules, something profound begins to unfold. Invisible burdens start to release at the cellular level. Jung called this activation of the transcendent function, which is essentially your cell's natural capacity to heal by integrating opposing forces, by dissolving the divisions between what you show the world and what you've hidden in the deepest layers of your cellular memory. Leave a comment saying, "My cells are releasing now." Jung had a brilliant way of making these complex ideas tangible, and one of his most powerful analogies was comparing this entire process to tuning an instrument. Your cells are constantly receiving signals, messages about what you actually need for healing, guidance from that deeper intelligence we've been exploring. But here's the problem that most people never recognize: the invisible barrier standing between you and genuine transformation. When your system is cluttered with constant food intake, endless stimulation, the relentless mental noise of modern living, these cellular signals become completely distorted. It's like trying to hear a delicate melody in a room where 50 radio stations are blasting simultaneously. You might catch fragments, fleeting impressions, brief moments of clarity, but you'll never hear the message clearly enough to actually act on it with precision and confidence. This is where the true power of engaging your cellular intelligence reveals itself in ways that impact every decision you make, every choice that shapes your daily reality. When you give your digestive system deliberate rest, when you consciously step back from that relentless cycle of consumption, the interference clears dramatically. The cellular signal strengthens. Your body's healing wisdom, which has been trying to communicate through your cells all along, suddenly becomes audible. You start perceiving what your organism actually needs, not what advertising has conditioned you to crave, not what habit mechanically demands, but what your deeper cellular wisdom is genuinely asking for. And this clarity isn't just some mental shift or psychological trick you're playing on yourself. It's fundamentally physiological. Your cells have incredibly intricate feedback systems, sophisticated mechanisms designed specifically to identify imbalances, detect what needs attention, and restore optimal function. But these cellular systems work at their highest capacity only when they have space to operate without constant interruption, without being drowned out by the noise of perpetual consumption. What Jung emphasized more than anything else, and it's a truth that separates superficial practice from genuine transformation, is that this journey must serve life itself. It cannot become another form of escape, or just another thing you're doing to avoid facing what really matters. He described the experience as a cycle with distinct phases that unfold naturally when you engage them with awareness and intention. First comes purification, where your cells actively clear accumulated residues, both physical toxins and emotional debris that's been stored away for years. Then revelation emerges, where deeper truths about your cellular patterns, about the ways you've been operating unconsciously, become suddenly visible like hidden architecture revealing itself. This is followed by integration, where you consciously absorb these insights, allowing them to reshape how you think, how you respond, how you move through the world with greater awareness of what's actually driving your choices. And finally, there's renewed engagement with life, but now from a place of greater cellular wholeness, deeper authenticity, clearer alignment with who you actually are beneath all the conditioning and programming. This isn't a one-time event you check off and move on from, adding it to your list of personal development accomplishments. It's a recurring process, a spiral that deepens with each cycle, revealing new layers of cellular wisdom you couldn't access before. Write in the comments, "I'm tuning into my cellular wisdom." If you've made it this far, I want to personally thank you. Not everyone has the patience or the genuine curiosity to explore these deeper dimensions of healing and cellular transformation. The fact that you're still here tells me something important about you. You're someone who's actually ready to understand how your body and mind work together at this profound level, someone willing to look beyond surface solutions and engage with what truly creates lasting change. If this resonated with you, if something clicked into place while you were listening, I'd really value having you subscribe to the channel. This isn't just another collection of quick tips or trendy advice that you'll forget tomorrow. We're building something here, a space where we explore the real mechanisms behind healing, consciousness, and human potential. The kind of content that actually shifts how you see yourself and what's possible for your life. And honestly, having you as part of this community makes all the difference. Before you go, drop a comment saying, "This message was meant for me." I read every single one, and it helps me understand who's connecting with this material, who's actually walking this path of cellular awakening alongside me. And if you found value in what we covered today, go ahead and hit that like button. It's a small gesture, but it tells me this type of deep, thoughtful content is what you want to see more of, and it helps others discover these insights too. Now, there's a video right here that takes this conversation even further into territory I think you'll find fascinating. It complements everything we just explored, and I believe you're going to find it incredibly valuable. Click and continue with me over there. Let's keep this journey going together.